try it. Yeah, if you want to put a laser in your eyeball, go for it. Celtic Rain said it helped her dad, but I'd much rather do the cataract eye drops. It's a more natural approach. Sassy Q, touche. Says, Dirty, you're calling yourself a fathead. Okay, you've been in here a while. So you saw the Can-See. Did you see Bonnie commenting about her being able to see after taking these drops? A 3-week supply is $39. You just put it in your eyes twice a day. Quinoa is healthy, but it's not keto. Ooh, excuse me. Dirty. Oh, my goodness. I hope to meet Unani and other patriots in that area of California, hopefully this summer. Yeah, that'd be fun. Be neat to be able to eventually just do a thing where everybody goes around. Thank you, wishful thinking. I'm here to help people. I want people to be healthy. I don't like seeing people hurt or taken advantage of. The optometrist is sending you. Cheryl Metler, here are the eye drops right here. This goes to the site. Timothy, you can do it. I mean, that's you. That's up to you. But if it was me, I'd be taking the Can-See. As a matter of fact, I got a box here that was from my mom and dad's house. I'm going to do it just to see if because my eyesight's gotten worse in the last year. I'm going to see if it helps my eyesight. Don't know. It might. Oh my goodness. It's time for, it is time. I see them rattling around there. Everybody, thank you so much for being with me tonight. This was Crossing the Matrix with Chris Croy. And thank you all for being out here listening. And God bless y'all. And I'm turning over the very capable hands. Yeah, I'm because I didn't realize what time it was. Turning it over to Thumper and Deadcat for Hyperdrive. Enjoy the show, folks. Thanks for being with me tonight. Good night, y'all.
Hey, Chris. That's what happens when you're having fun, Chris.
Oh, I was. I get read and chat, and I lose track of time.
You're kicking it. What that little link that you put out for the Can-See? That's a gold mine for people with cataracts. If that actually works every time.
Yeah, apparently it works very well. I've seen so many people that have used these things, and Bonnie's one of them. She's right here tonight talking about it. She said, I think this is her 3rd week, and she's seeing through her cataracts now. She noticed within the first week, I believe, improvement. She was seeing, I think she said shadows, but tonight she said, "Yep, update." So, anyway,
I wonder. Go ahead.
I just wondering, how's my audio sounding right now?
Sounding good.
Oh, because it was sounding like it had an echo in it.
Oh no. Was that intentional or was that...
No. I think it was a little feedback from a program.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I had a sort of an industrial accident in a way. I got my eyes sprayed with this chemical that came out of a machine, and one eye. Actually, both of them, but one eye even worse than the other. I started seeing these floaters. You know what floaters are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started seeing these floaters, and it was like really obtrusive. It wasn't the occasional little flake of crap that seems to, when you blink your eyes, then it comes up and then floats back down again. It wasn't like that. It was like it was constant. It was just flowing across my the inside of my pupil constantly. And I went and I had it checked out, and the doctor said, well, the only way you're going to fix that is, eventually you're going to have cataract surgery. So when you do, just have them take that stuff out. And no, I'm not going to have them cut my eye open and put something else in there, I'll go out with what I came in with. But this stuff here may, I don't know if what you're saying is, has any effect on that, but it is kind of pre-cataract condition, those floaters.
Yeah.
So if it breaks that stuff up, that's a great deal.
There were people saying it got rid of the floaters. So it's really cheap. So, I mean, really for a 3-week supply at $39, the more you buy, like if you buy a 3-month supply, it drops the price like $5 for each box or something. So there is a discount for buying more, but yeah, you might need maybe a month or 2 or maybe 3 months of it. But yeah, I've read that it's getting rid of floaters, so that's a good thing.
All right. Well,
There you go. And with that,
From floaters, well, maybe we'll do a little floating in space or something.
There you go.
We'll go to a different kind of floaters.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll see you guys.
All
Yeah,
right.
great.
Well, I while you guys were chit chatting, I've been, making some adjustments and this and that and whatever, and so
You sound
good.
good.
Oh well, thank you. Well, just trying to figure out a couple of things. So we're not quite there yet, but working on it.
What do you think of my background tonight?
Yeah. What'd you do? Did you forget to buy light bulbs?
No, I just left all the lights off so it'd be nice and cool in here. And it did this, so I thought, man, that's pretty cool. I'll go with that. Yeah. So I'm just the only light in the room is my 3 computer screens.
Okay. Yeah, well,
good. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah, really, you really should ought to pay your light bill.
Well, think of it this way: if I hadn't paid my light bill, the computers wouldn't work either.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, there is that.
Well, I guess you make a good point there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hello, live chat. How are you guys tonight? You ready for another little installment of Hyperdrive tonight? We've got a few things lined up for you. And starting out, we're going to finish up that 30 minutes left over of David Adair and his story of rockets and how he got started and eventually ended up at Groom Lake. And that's the part that really gets fun. So stick around. It's going to get fun. And with that said, shall we get the program or the show on the road here, so to speak? Light the fires and
we don't do those stinking programs.
Of course we don't.
That's right.
I knew you'd tag on to that. You just,
Did you set me up? Is that what?
I knew you would just, if I make the mistake of saying the word program, you jump right in there. Never fails.
Well, you do, I hope you don't, disapprove because, I always appreciate it when you say, remember instead of don't forget.
And magazine instead of clip.
And magazine instead. Well, I kind of broke myself of that bad habit. My dad used to always, my dad, big firearm guy for forever, the cold dead hands kind of guy, and he always called them clips. He never did call them magazines, but I think probably because he was more used to the, the M1.
Sure, a lot of the older firearms and military firearms.
Yeah, where you clips. Just opened the breech and you jammed the thing down in and slid all the cartridges down into the magazine, and they called it a clip. But
right.
The clip part was the metal thing that you pitched.
Right. All right. Well, live chat, you guys ready to light the fires here? I know I am, and I know Deadcat is. You guys ready?
Mach 37. Let's go.
Oh, little sis is threatening to come in and box us both.
Oh, it's not. No need there, sis. We're doing good. No need there. But thanks for asking.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys on the other side. Get your coffee, get your popcorn, and get ready because we're going to launch in 3, 2, 1. Well, we are back.
Grammar Nazi.
Much to the chagrin of some people. No. Oh my goodness. Well, the fun just keeps rolling along, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it does. That much to the chagrin, yes.
Sassy Q says, "Hang on, Thumper's driving."
at Mach 37, by the way.
No. Mach 37. Are you sure? That seems kind of slow.
Yeah, it probably is. That's just that's inside the atmosphere. That's before we get out.
You really can't because there is no sound barrier. So Mach is defined as when you break the speed of sound, right?
Well, yeah, it's a
okay.
It's
if you're traveling outside of the sound barrier, you really can't use Mach as a measuring stick, can you?
Well, unless you're just using it like a distance, like light year, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The distance a light travels in a year.
But Mach isn't even a set value. No,
it fluctuates with the atmospheric conditions.
Right.
And yeah, that's true. And the altitude, it fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's a generalized term that people use because it sounds cool. I think that's why scientists like using it.
I wonder, do they have like we have speed of light speed.
186,282 miles per second.
Okay, and that's always consistent, right?
No, it isn't, because it changes with
like
with
water. Water changes it.
Yeah.
Well, water changes it because that's why when you're underwater and you're looking up, or you're like they say you're trying to spear a fish in the water, because of the refraction of the light, you have to more or less adjust, because if you're going to spear a fish and you're standing over it and looking down in the water, you don't hit it because the light is actually refracting and the fish is actually physically in a slightly different spot from your actual vantage point.
Right. Well, and yeah, there is a certain amount of time distortion in relation to the location of the fish in as it's as opposed to where you're seeing it. There's a certain amount of time distortion there. There's also light distortion as it goes around objects in space. Where you have that
gravitational forces,
like that. Yeah. So no, it's nothing in nature, nothing in the universe is actually set in stone, other than stone.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's not, no problem. I'm glad I could clear that up for you.
Oh, that was good.
Ketsuyama 511 out there. All right.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Did you get your laptop back up and running, or are you still working on your phone, man?
He's waiting on his on a hard drive. Remember, he said that I think this morning in the live chat was the message this morning. He's waiting on a hard drive. So he's gonna
Celtic Rain. That's good. I'm not going to read that, but that's pretty good. Yes, however fast that is, right?
All right. Well, tell you what, dear folks, I'm Thumper. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, inland, and Mr. Spooky over there at the Spooky Lights is none other than
somewhere in the universe, and I'm not going to tell you where. But I'm still Deadcat. I'm still Deadcat.
But
So
you're still Deadcat. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And you guys want to do a quick roll call, and then we'll jump into some of the fun stuff for the rest of the night here. Don't everybody jump at once. Tetsuyama 511 is still on his phone. 3 or 4 more days. All right. Patty, hey, fellas from Helena, Montana. Excellent. Driving to my house to Tetsuyama's house is a hard drive. Does that help?
Yeah.
Only Cuff. That's from Only Cuff. Ready for more Adair in Mesa, Arizona. All right. Yeah, we've got some about 30 more minutes of actual video, which means, stopping and starting means about an hour of the show is going to be Mr. Adair. Sydney, Australia, San Bernardino, California, still in Gig Harbor till Friday when I head your way, says Shelly Capelli. All right. North Carolina coast, go Navy, says Gecko Bug. Aloha from Maui, Hawaii. Stephanon, how you doing? Looking forward to your show from New Zealand. Very good. Thank you, Marge. Appreciate it. Somewhere out here, huh? Says Trish. And Ask Mama Channel says Puffy Pink-haired Patriot from Spokane. Good for you. Welcome to Patriot Soapbox 24/7 Hyperdrive. Coming to you, me anyway, from Spokane as well. Halifax County, Virginia. There we go. Mickey Watts, Fart City. Are you a friend of Bent Hooter? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Ruh-roh, says Billy the Kid. Somebody's writing his Sassy Q is writing her tauntaun. All right. Okay. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. Tina Anon, Baguio, the Philippines. Sweet. Mojave Green, how you doing? Good to see you there. Can we register some of these aliens by 2020? Depends on what kind of aliens we're talking about. In an unknown bunker somewhere, Celtic Rain, South Texas here, Central Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, TMC in cyberspace. Hey, TMC, how you doing? How's that research going, my man? Konkan, Thailand, Macau, Pal, good to see you. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Central Georgia, South Texas here in an unknown bunker. Okay, we did that one already. Buffering Finger Lakes, New York. Don't forget Chart City. Okay, Chart City. Mentone, California. Dothan, Alabama. Mojave Green. Yeah, I know Dothan, Alabama. Been through there. Southwest Ontario, Canada. T Bongo 11. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good to have you with us here tonight. Still up in Michigan. Love you too. Brigham, South Wales, UK. Angela Thomas. Angela, it's good to have you with us here. You're getting kind of over into the early part of the morning there, I would guess. Green Cove Springs, Florida. And Ask Mama Channel says, you're my favorite neighbor. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's get down to some mysteries, gentlemen, says Spirit Anon. We'll be getting there real quick. And Judy Morris, our good friend there, here and awake in Moscow, Idaho. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Pasadena, California. Judy has been with the channel for a very, very long time. She's from the get-go. I think just about, maybe even longer than me. Pasadena, California, beautiful mountains of California. And Springfield, Missouri, checking in. Aki One, how you doing? Yeah, right. Well, it looks like we pretty much got everybody checked in here. So how about let's get things started here. First off, I got a little article here. It comes from Linda Moulton Howell.
Oh, cool.
And it's kind of an interesting little piece here. We'll get it up on the screen for everyone. Oops, wrong button.
Oh, you had it there for a second.
Yeah, I know. I hit stop share like some dummy. Okay. Why the idea of alien life now seems inevitable and possibly imminent. The conversation. And this is 2019 by Linda Moulton Howell, April 28th, 2019. Following a string of remarkable discoveries over the past 2 decades, the idea of alien life is not as far-fetched as it used to seem. Discovery now seems inevitable and possibly imminent, close quote. Cathal D. O'Connell, researcher and center manager of BioFab 3D Street, St. Vincent's Hospital, University of Alabama, or University of Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Why the idea of alien life now seems inevitable and possibly imminent. Relative sizes of planets that are in a zone potentially compatible with life. Kepler 22b, that's this guy right here. Kepler 69c, this one. Kepler 621, and Earth. Earth is a NASA image. All other planets are artist illustrations. This was created by NASA. The headline in the conversation on April 25th of 2019, based on Griffith Review. April 28, 2019, Albuquerque, New Mexico. For 2 decades, EarthFiles.com has been reporting about worldwide crop circles, animal mutilations, human abductions, other beings in the universe, alien symbols, military whistleblowers, ancient and extraordinary archaeologies, advanced non-human technologies, and self-activating software. Reporting the facts, eyewitnesses, and high strangeness in these phenomena that are moving toward a revolution in consciousness. We are moving from the paradigm that we are alone in the universe to a new one in which we are not alone, and something out there is interacting with us, our animals, and our plant life, forcing glimpses of other realities upon us. At least there are cracks in this planet's concocted and power broker enforced policies of lies and denial that, in quote, we are alone in the universe, close quote. Congratulations to the conversation and the Griffith Review for intelligent essays and honest headline, in quote, why the idea of alien life now seems inevitable and possibly imminent, close quote. See websites below. And the caption to this photo here is, the universe is full of galaxies, at least 1 to 2 trillion. And this is an image coming from the Hubble Space Telescope, NASA. And we can actually click on the image and enlarge it. Let's see what happens. There. It's nice and big now.
Yeah, it's big.
It's bigger. All right. All right.
Yeah, those are all galaxies.
Yeah.
Those are not, those are, you know.
And it's supposedly not even photoshopped. Interesting, huh? Yeah. Yes. Humanity stands at its own crossroads about how life will continue to evolve on Earth with its global environmental deterioration. Those who conclude that an advanced intelligence has created the 1970s to the 1990s worldwide crop circle patterns also sense that something is trying to wake us all up to our past and present, so we will have a future. Life on planet Earth is not guaranteed, but it is probable that Earth's human future will most likely involve more interaction with beings and intelligences other than human. The revolution about to occur, a new consciousness that we are not alone in the universe, carries with it the unpredictable consequences of human reactions to it. UFO investigator Michael Lindemann told me, in quote, the inescapable profundity of the alien presence has become a source of social pathology in our time. As a culture, we have not yet learned how to tell the truth about something so huge, so strange, and so unexpected. Individuals who make an honest effort to deal with it often discover that their personal stability is at risk. Consequently, the alien presence requires us all to grow, to become stronger and clearer, and to help one another find our way in a genuinely new world, close quote. Boy, he said a lot there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, the idea that how many people out there, when you start talking about aliens, okay, there's some people go, oh yeah, man, that's really cool. Other people go, oh, they're all demons. They're all, it's all Satan at work. Fallen angels, all of this stuff.
Yep, Nephilim.
Okay, and I like to I've thought about that for a long time, and one of the things that I've come up with, okay, we live in an infinite universe, and in an infinite universe, there's an infinite number of possibilities of life, but at some point, the universe was created. So there has to be a creator. Something created this. It came from somewhere, and because it's infinite, everything in it is, in quote, infinite. Wouldn't you agree there, DC?
Well, yeah. We were talking about that today. We actually did a private Zoom on that, and that was one of the things that we were talking about was you don't put parameters or boxes around infinite. It just the two aren't the concepts aren't compatible.
And we know that not all of the angels were fallen, right? So the other angels are white hats, good guys, whatever you want to call them. They're on the side of the Creator. And I thought it was kind of interesting when we were talking with Frank when he was a guest on the show, Frank Chili. We asked the question about has anybody asked any of these aliens and related to anybody that is talking about this stuff, about what the aliens say about God? And his response was, when asked about it, the aliens referred that they walk with the Creator on a daily basis. They walk with the Lord on a daily basis. So all life in the universe, just like life here on Earth, owes its creation to the Creator, the Lord of the universe, the one and only. And I got to tell you, your light flickering over there is kind of distracting there, DC. Yeah, it is, It's just like, oh, what is going on? What is he doing over there? Oh, it's just his damn lights. All right.
Oh, I'm looking at stuff. I'm looking at different stuff, and it's coming up on. It's blocking out the light on the screen there. So I'll try to minimize that a bit. It's either that or I turn the light on in the room, and that'll ruin everything.
Well, okay.
Can you live with this, or is that too much?
It's a little better, but I mean, it's still, it's flickering in the side. And it's like, okay. Anyway, okay. Back to the article here. Simultaneously now, a new cosmology is emerging that says there are many more dimensions than this one, that Earth exists in one particular dimension that has a particular atomic frequency. Other frequency forms from other dimensions can penetrate and even overlap our space-time. As different radio and TV signals can move together in a single space to be separated at a receiver by a frequency tuner, astronomers also hypothesize there are even many other universes which can be radically different from ours in appearance and physical makeup, and likely intelligences other than human have been and are now forcing glimpses of other realities upon us. Okay. Then she has a picture here of a Project Aquarius. And this is a clickable image here, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. It says, Top Secret Project Aquarius contains 16 volumes of documented information collected from the beginning of the United States investigation of unidentified flying objects, UFOs. and Identified Alien Crafts, IACs. The project was originally established in 1953 by order of President Eisenhower under control of NSC and MJ-12. In 1966, Majestic 12, were you going to comment on that?
Yeah. Mention that. Majestic 12.
Yeah. In 1966, the project's name was changed from Project Gleam to Project Aquarius. The project was funded by CIA confidential funds, non-appropriated. Running drugs, probably.
Yeah. Well,
the project
Air America right there.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, the Air America was the Mel Gibson movie where they were talking about the CIA running drugs in Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia during the Vietnam War.
So, it's just non-appropriated funds. Just imagine, maybe a little human trafficking thrown in there for measure and whatever else that they could come up with to, provide their black budget funding. Was originally classified secret, but was upgraded to its present classification in December of 1969 after Project Blue Book closed. The purpose of Project Aquarius was to collect all scientific, technological, medical, and intelligence information from UFO/IAC sightings and contacts with alien life forms. This orderly file of collected information has been used to advance the United States space program. The preceding briefing is a historical account of the United States government's investigation of aerial phenomenon, recovered alien aircrafts, and contacts with extraterrestrial life forms. And again, we have this, top secret stamp there. And then this is just the text from what I just read there off the page there. And you can also see more of the above 9-page Project Aquarius at Earth Files. And they have Project Aquarius, 16 volumes about UFOs and IACs from 1953 to 1981. Now, this is coming off of Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files website. And June 15th, 2014, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, the following executive briefing on the subject of Project Aquarius was allegedly prepared for U.S. President Jimmy Carter, 1977 to 1981, has been distributed in the past decade to some investigators of the UFO phenomenon, including earthfiles.com, which is Linda Moulton Howe's website. These alleged but not proven government documents are shared as possible facts about the U.S. government cover-up since World War II concerning extraterrestrial biological entities, their advanced technologies, and the government's estimate of the situation. At the time of the executive briefing, that non-humans were not considered a national security threat between 1981 to 2014. That has that estimate of the situation remained the same? Or would a 2014 Project Aquarius executive briefing describe more complex and changing relationships between humans and ETs? That's kind of interesting. Because this next 30 minutes of David Adair's talk will give you, a pretty interesting
firefighter in the room.
Look, we got firefighter out there.
Firefighter in the room. Firefighter brother.
Thank you for failing to die.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, firefighter.
Good job on that failure.
Yeah, rate. Well done.
Firefighter 2, the devil 0. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. Right. I keep you in my prayers, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. We all have, brother.
It's good to see him out there. Absolutely. All right. So let me get this video.
Before you start that, I've got a little.
Yeah, well, if you let me finish, I'm
okay.
video ready, and I was going to turn it over to you. as so I can get the video ready.
Well,
So
that's fine. I have a little
please,
short video.
please lead on.
Yes, I have a little short video. I have to break it up. It's only a few minutes long, but it is David Adair, the guy that we're going to be watching tonight. And he's talking about is there life in space? And it's only 3 minutes long, but of course I'll have to break it up. But let me get it up full screen here. And I got to actually wait a minute. Before I do that, I probably should share, right?
That's always helpful. And while you're doing that, I am going to fill up my coffee cup. And
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. And I believe that one's going to be it right there. All right. Is everybody seeing that okay?
It's dark.
Yeah, but I mean, you're seeing the dark screen there with the share.
Yeah, I'm
right?
seeing a totally black screen. It looks perfectly fine.
And the share looks good, right?
It's completely black. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, here goes. Let me get it up full screen here.
There's always this debate where is there life out there? Is there other life? My answer to that is, oh, hell yeah, there is. The numbers, just the sheer numbers, is such in favor of it, it's ridiculous. When you walk out in the backyard with your human eye, you see 100 billion stars.
100 billion stars that you can see with your eyes. That's not counting the ones that are so faded in the background because of the ambient light from the other stars that you can see behind. And that picture that Thumper showed of the different galaxies, those weren't stars. Those were actual entire galaxies like the Milky Way. That's what we're looking at when we're looking through that Hubble telescope look there. Every one of those was a Milky Way size or bigger or maybe a little smaller, but one huge mass of stars. So this universe is, if it's not infinite, then it's big.
Each one of those little stars, a little pin of light, it's got planets going around it, just like our sun. A sun is a star, and a star is a sun. So every little pin light that you see out there, just like somebody way out there be looking back at us, they'd see our sun, and it would be a star, just a little pin light. Out of 100 million stars out there with 8 or 9 or 15 planets around each star.
Yeah. Their very own star system. We call it the solar system because Sol is the name of our sun. So they're talking about a star system named whatever after their sun.
Start doing the math. It's automatically jumped into billions. And when you start calculating in the size of the galaxy in just one galaxy, you're in hundreds of billions of planets in that star system. If you take just 1/10 of 1% of what's in our galaxy, never mind the 400 million other galaxies, just our one galaxy, you have 100 million population.
Okay, sorry about breaking it up there, right? But I have to.
Earth. So what do you think the odds of somebody's out there? For sure there's somebody out there. By the sheer numbers and just the fractions and fractions and fractions of possibility you end up with millions and tens of millions of planets. Yeah, I am absolutely certain that there are alien life out there. The one thing that's happened that leads me to believe this is the reaction to every astronaut, whether...
Okay, once again, sorry I have to break this up, but I do.
The astronaut is a scientist, a pilot, a researcher, a mission commander. Every human being that was an astronaut that went out in space, every single one of them, when they come back, they are changed. And that has been documented, medical, psychological profiling, studies, everything. Every one of them have changed when they come back. Now, why is that? Because once they get off this planet and get out into just low Earth orbit, orbit is enough. all five of their senses. You know, your eyes, your hearing, your seeing, taste, feeling. Once they get out of the chain of gravity of Earth and outside the atmosphere and look around, their little brain has just one conclusion. Oh, man, there's no doubt we are not alone. There's got to be other worlds out there.
Okay, that's kind of a logical approach to it. It makes sense, doesn't it? I see Thumper is still. There he is. All right, perfect timing. And that was our friend David Adair. And by the way, I am going to reach out to David Adair and see if we can actually get him to come on our show. We do have another guest. I won't mention his name yet because we haven't nailed it down, but we have another guest that Frank Chili is reaching out for us for. And we're hoping that we're going to get a response fairly soon from him. So just kind of a tantalizer there. There's another one you haven't seen yet that will be coming to us soon, hopefully. So I won't tell you his name because I don't want to, jinx it. But over to you, brother.
All right. Trying to find information on David Adair is extremely challenging. It appears that a lot of people don't want you to hear what he has to say. And a lot of his information, a lot of his briefings and things like that have been scrubbed from the internet, which is really telling in one of those ways that we here at Patriot Soapbox and the people who have been doing all the research that we've been doing, and as it becomes more and more evident that they're actively working on trying to keep things quiet.
Shy Panther's asking, didn't he die? Apparently,
no, that's
rumors of his death were greatly exaggerated.
Yeah, he is scheduled to be one of the presenters at the big meetup that's happening in I believe it's in around the Palm Springs area in California later this month, and he is going to be one of the speakers there. I would go to California just to hear him. I tell you what,
absolutely.
That guy, I think, would be absolutely amazing to hear in a live presentation. So, with that said, I'm ready to start the last 30 minutes of David Adair's presentation here. How about you?
Before you do, could I throw up that website there?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Down there in California. Hang on just a minute. Let me get this up for you. This is Indian Wells, California. Everybody that's out in the desert, it's actually called Contact in the Desert. And it's a symposium that's happening on May 31st to June 3rd, 2019. I don't know about the tickets, but it says you can get a full weekend pass for it. And he is one of the primary presenters there. And it's got a lecture, workshop, Monday intensive, and you've got the workshops. It's probably there's no doubt there's going to be a fee to get in there, etc. But speakers, conference venue, you guys can look at this. I'll put it out there while Thumper is putting the video on. I'll put that out there in YouTube. You guys can take this link if you're interested in going and check it out. All right, I'll stop the share here. And that is May 31st to June 3rd. So that promises to be a very interesting 4 days there.
It should be. I know Jordan Sather is one of the people that's going to be there as well.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Along with several other very notable people, Linda Moulton Howe, are all going to be there. It's, if you look at the list of people that are going to be presenters during that 4 days, it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, if you're in the area and you can afford to go to that, well, I'll tell you what, it would be a fascinating excursion, I'm sure.
And
All right.
no clue what the cost is on it. Just you'll have to go to the website and look. Here is the website. I'm putting it out there. So,
all right, I'm going to put the video up on the screen here, and
cool.
we'll get things rolling here. All right. So I backed it up a few minutes here so we can kind of catch a little bit of what we were listening to on Monday night. And we'll get started here. Here we go.
Cut off. And that's I was shooting for 125. And at that apogee point, it's going to curve. It's going to glide all the way to where it's supposed to go, Groom Lake. So they said on the phone, do you know where it's heading? Yeah, we do. Well, that's good because you're going to have to talk to them people. So anyway,
okay, what he's talking about here is they lit off a rocket. And if you didn't catch the Monday evening show,
Yep.
It was his rocket engine, and this thing is a completely new technology. He calls it a cold pumper. Is the technology that he had developed because of the guy is a brilliant rocket scientist. Okay, so here we go.
Looked at the map and I said, where are we going? We're going to go see your rocket. What? You got a DC-9, it's got rubber tires. That's a dry lake bed. You're going to belly up to the belly on this thing. Shut up and get on a plane. So we get on a plane. And then Colonel Williams was detained. He was moved away and locked in his quarters. And I thought, man, I realized I'm being kidnapped. So off we go. Just me and the guys in black suits and.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's with that German guy. I forget the guy's name. And
I don't recall his name either. Actually, it wasn't his real name. It was the name that he assumed when he was brought over with Operation Paperclip.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and just as a reminder, that rocket that supposedly blew up on the launch pad because everybody thought it did because of the great big bright flash and the release of energy and the shock wave. Everybody thought it blew up. Well, no, it took off at Mach 37, which they figure was around 28,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. And that's what you heard him describing when I started the video is the
125 miles high. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Rudolph. We fly over and we land, and a lot of people say, well, he's lying because he didn't have the base built. I just don't go into all the details. There's just so many details, y'all. For those nose pickers, I will tell them this. We flew over, lots of construction, lots of chalk and tape and ribbons everywhere. Clearly, 2 big runways are going to be built, about 10,000 foot each, 2 of them.
Nose pickers.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's describing when they fly in to Groom Lake that, he is describing the construction that's going on there. And there seems to be quite a bit. All right, here we go.
And we land on a taxiway that cuts across. And we roll up to a center hangar. And you get out, and the hangars look old. They're painted where they look old, but you get close to them, it's brand new. Now, why would they want them painted old? Satellites watching, I guess. And I thought, what is with all this stuff? So then you think the story's weird? It's just starting.
Yeah, it's just starting. Okay, here we go.
First thing, this thing pulls up. It looks like a golf cart, but it's not a golf cart. It's got some kind of intake in the center that it pulsates and glows, makes a strange sound. I swear I never heard anything whine like that. And you get on it, and we took off, and I'm trying to figure out how this golf cart's running. And we go in the center hangar, we sit there, and then all these chains come up out of the floor, doors close off, lights come on. And I thought, what next?
Yeah, what next? Okay. This just gets more and more fun. You hear me saying that, but I mean, the way he tells the story, it's absolutely amazing. Here we go.
And the floor is the size of a football field. It's concrete. It drops, all of it. It's an elevator. And I'm going, holy smokes, you can put 3 or 4 747s in here and drop them. Whatever they're picking up and down, just the concrete floor has got to be 500,000 pounds. It can't be pulleys or chains or cables. What is lifting this thing? So as we're going down, I found out embedded in the walls where half of their bodies would stick out were 12 Sequoia-size worm screws. That's the heaviest lifting load.
Sequoia size. We're talking what, 12 foot in diameter or bigger?
Mm-hmm.
Sequoias. They've got 24-foot diameter sequoias.
Yeah.
I
wonder who they got to make those for them.
Yeah.
You ever wonder that?
It wasn't my shop. We could make worm screws, but nothing else even remotely.
That's the thing. Something that large has to be forged, then machined, and there's 12 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I just as a short aside here, I used to imagine, now anybody here who understands machining, understands even the most rudimentary machining, you know what a lathe is. You got a spindle over here that's got a chuck on it that holds onto the material, and then you got a center rest over here on the other side that the thing rotates in between. That it's just a long piece of metal and it rotates in between, and then you've got this little tool post, and the tool post moves on a lead screw. What they're talking about, a lead screw there. It moves on a lead screw, and it moves this sharp cutter, which is usually made out of carbide, across the metal, and it's moving in such a way that it impacts the metal and takes a piece of that metal off and peels it away. I always thought that it would be the coolest thing to have to be the pilot on the very tip of that tool post, that very little tip there, and watch these big shards of metal, I mean like half planet size shards of metal being peeled off of this gigantic, monstrous thing, to have that point of view. Well,
think of the machine. Think of the size of the machine.
Yeah.
That had to be bigger than the piece of metal that they're working on.
Oh yeah. We're talking about something almost getting out to that dimension. Mm-hmm. What a cool concept. What a
amazing
deal. I want to pilot one of those things.
There you go.
Maybe that experience that I've had, maybe that's going to make me, I hope they give me that chance. That chance.
We'll see. All right, here we go.
Your garage door. That's a worm screw. Very heavy load capacity. Strongest thing we know of. So whatever's going up and down this elevator is unbelievably heavy, like an aircraft carrier. So the floor goes down. We sit there and ride, and I'm counting, listening to the clicks, figuring out how many feet we're going down. They thought I was seasick or something. I thought, they don't know what I'm doing. So we go down about 205 feet, and the floor levels out.
All right. 205 feet. Only Cuff says, Smoke Clear is thinking inside the box again. How dare you? It could use magnetism to form the molten metal into a continuous feed, no mold necessary.
Interesting that he should point to that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Interesting that he should point to that, because there's a little bit more to that than, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, good. Very, very sharp there, Mr. Cuff.
There you go. All right, here we go.
And you look straight out ahead, and I'm going, you gotta be kidding. There's this arc-shaped cavern that is so far, it's bending with the curvature of the earth, and you cannot see the end of it. I'm going, man, this is big. So the first thing I blurt out is a good, normal question. What'd you do with all the dirt? And they got furious over that question.
Logical question, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do with the dirt?
You're talking about it. What is he at that time? He's like 17 years old or something, or 15,
16, or
yeah,
17, somewhere in there. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
And I'm going, I just smiled, never mind. And so we're riding down through the hallways of the causeway, and there's shops, labs, other hangars, sliding doors, other aircraft in there. The XB-70 was sitting down there. That's all it. Or something that looked like it, because at that time, 71, the other one's sitting in the Air Force Museum, so I don't.
So he's 17 there. He was born in 54.
Yeah. So, yeah. Here we go.
Know what that was, but it looked like the XB-70, but it was huge. Anyway, there was other aircraft, and then there was a couple of things sitting there that looked like teardrops with landing gears. And these are not models, because they got air conditioner hoses hooked to them, power units, and drip pans. These are working aircraft or spacecraft or whatever they are. And there was another thing really cool. I was a Irvin Allen fan of Voyage Bottom of the Sea. Remember the flying sub?
So he's seeing all this stuff, and take a look at his. I think that's a cell phone, or I don't know, on his hip there.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he has a little miniature TR-3B there.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Maybe that's his transport that he got there in.
Yeah, you never know.
That calls it,
All right, here we go.
One of them suckers was sitting over there, and I'm going, wow, man, they got the flying sub. And they got on the radio, and they closed the door. But we're riding on down. We go for a good ways. We stop to the left, and there's this, it's not like the other hangar doors where they slide. You know what an iris of a camera looks like? This iris has got to be about 40 feet in diameter. It's made of some kind of armor.
Very, very special type of door there. An iris, basically, an iris door. Think of if you've ever watched the TV show Stargate SG-1 and the shield that they put over the Stargate when they want to make sure nothing can get through the Stargate. Something like that. All right, here we go.
And I thought, whoa, man, that's a serious door. It must be something good behind that. And we're going in it. The guy jumps out, looks at this thing, flashes the screen. He's got his hands on the panels, and it opens up. And I went, did I just see a retinal scanner and a palm scanner? This is 1971. We don't even have handheld calculators yet. That comes a few years later. You know, that was back in the years where we had digital watches where you had to use two hands, one to press the little button. Thing cost about $1,000.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. They've got retinal scanners. They've got all kinds of fancy stuff. And, the idea of a personal hand calculator and digital watches hasn't even hit the mainstream yet. So technology way, way ahead of what was normal for the average person at that time.
1,000 years?
I don't know if they're quite at 1,000 years, but it's reaching out there.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Yeah, how do you determine the number of years anyway? It's just a guess.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Today you buy it for $1.99 at Walmart. So they got some serious technology, but here's the craziest thing. As we're driving down through the causeway, all these rooms and stuff, perfectly lit, but no shadows. How do you light a room up with no shadows? And then I went, where's the light fixtures? It's not indirect lighting like this is, or direct lighting. It's illumination.
Illumination. They're lighting that room in some fashion that doesn't require light bulbs or light fixtures or whatever. How would you do that?
Firefighter EMT out there says, my uncle was on the original XB70 build as an engineer. I have a manual on its build.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. You got a job to do, brother. You need to send that.
Make copies.
Get that copied and send it over to me.
Yeah, really. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
The only thing I can figure, maybe the atmosphere. So, maybe. I don't know. I'll be the first. I don't know. And I thought, this is crazy, man. And a retina scanner. And I said, man, this place is just freaking me out. So, we drive into the room. The lights come up. No light fixtures. Okay, this is normal. So, what do you want to show me? And on the far end of the room's about the size of a gymnasium.
Again, they're illuminating the room. And what was it? We ran across something the other day we were reading. And it talks about how you it's a frequency. It's a frequency that basically creates light. Okay. And
transverse waves.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it was referred to as, transverse waves.
Transverse waves, yes.
Yeah.
And basically by exciting and certain frequencies and causing those frequency waves to interact in a certain way, you basically create light. Boing.
Real ambient light.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you think that
the atmosphere?
That was the and the Lord said, "Let there be light." And one of the things that and again, I forget where I've read it, was that the idea was, let's see, the first thing that God spoke into existence was light. If you read, when you're reading the Bible in Genesis.
Yep.
But what is, when you use the phrase and God said, "Let there be light," that means, into our understanding, He spoke it. Well, when you speak something, you create a sound frequency or some type of a frequency. And however that translates to God speaking what He spoke into existence through the use of certain frequencies was light. Fascinating idea, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and just spoke it into existence by automatically, or by, I guess not.
Well, if as the creator, he understands and knows all of how everything works, and knows,
this particular tone here is going to cause light. Tone
or whatever.
Yeah.
Far beyond our understanding.
This chord.
Yeah. It's for us to guess is just shooting in the dark, really.
But it's music on a level we don't understand yet.
It's a a frequency or a combination of frequencies common to the universe. All right, here we go.
There's a big stage here made of iron girders and stuff, and whatever it is, pretty heavy. And there's curtains, and I ain't talking about curtains that look like this. You ever seen mud flap curtains on a semi? You ever try to pick one of them up? They weigh over 100 pounds. These curtains probably weighed 7 or 8 tons. They were huge, and they were all the way around. They had chains to them, and the chains would hoist the thing up in the ceiling. So we get out of the cart, they hoist the big curtains up.
So now is the unveiling. Okay. And this is some fascinating stuff that he starts describing here.
Not something you're going to run in and take a peek. So it comes up, and I'm sitting there going, oh, shoot, I thought I was ahead of everybody, because my engine's about this big, electromagnetic fusion containment engine. This thing's the size of a semi, 75 feet. That I've measured this room. It's about 30 feet longer than this room. 75 feet, 22 feet wide, 15 feet high.
That's a pretty big engine.
That's a good sized chunk of whatever it's made out of.
Mm-hmm. And that's, he gets into that as well here. Okay, here we go.
And the way I could tell the difference, because I was allowed to look at it, and when I walked, I measured it with my feet. It's huge, and I can tell. I had a 4-cylinder Model A engine. They had a Lamborghini. But then I got closer and looked at it, and I realized there's something wrong with this thing. I have miles of wiring on mine.
Okay. Just picture in your mind what he starts describing here. It's fascinating.
All the weld seams stuff. As big as this thing is, not one bolt, not one rivet, not one screw, not one weld line, not one seam. It looked like it grew like an eggplant. I'll find out later I was pretty close to the mark. This is a machine. And I looked at it and I said, it's more than a machine. I'm not building a rocket engine. The rocket engine, God, there's so many people.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the prize here, folks. There's a whole new vocabulary coming at us.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've got a bigger than you can imagine. Expand your thinking. Q's been telling us all along. Expand your thinking, which means be ready to change the way you conceive of things.
Yeah. It's called the Great Awakening. Welcome to it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yummy.
I can tell you about the other part. I am building a power plant, a different kind of nuclear power plant. Okay. Some people ask me, well, how did you validate the theorems? I said, rocket engine. And he went, oh, God, how smart. I said, no, how desperate. That's the only thing I could come up with.
All right. So, he starts describing this thing, and it's just absolutely incredible. All right. We're just going to... Excuse me. Here we go.
So that's how I could find out if I'm right on the containment fields. Now, my containment fields only held for 4.5 seconds. Piston only flew for 3 seconds, but look at the speed and distance that it did. Imagine if it kept running. It went just 2 more seconds, it would have went over 25,000 miles an hour. It's already over that. It would have broke the gravity field and went into space and gone forever. I kind of wish it had done that, because it's going to be bad what happens next.
Yeah. Because these guys start to realize just what it is he built there. Yeah, something extraordinary.
So anyhow, my rocket is laying up on the desert floor. We're down underneath it with this system. And I'm looking at it, and I turned to Rudolph, can I get closer to it? Air Force people said, no. He turns, yes. So now we know who's running the show, don't we? So I going up on the stage, went up steps, got close to this thing, and I'm looking. It is just such. You should just see this thing.
It's not of this world, that's for sure. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell this is not a product of our 20th century industrial process. This is something else, y'all. And so I put my hands on it. But as I'm reaching out to it, I went, there's my shadow. Hey, shadows, where's the lights? So I moved my hand, shadows a split second behind me. And I'm going, oh, heat-seeking recognition alloy. Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay. A heat-seeking recognition alloy. What's that?
Look at how his mind works. I mean, it's just, he has obviously, over the course of his, having these dreams and from a point of view that this is, it's knowable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very cool. I'd like to, before we go any further, Desert Rose out there says the Bible warns of a great deception. Wonder what that could be. And I kind of get your implication there, but remember, first of all, trust the plan.
Is the deception the hiding away of this technology, and the idea that when it does come out, they're going to say, "Oh, these are deceivers." This is the or is it the deception in what we've been living in? Because they have hidden away all this stuff. Look at the deception that has been foisted upon us by the deep state, by all of these different factions that are a product of the deep state, corporations.
It's going to be much
governments.
Worse than that.
Belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
Belief systems
Mull that one over.
Yeah, think about that one.
Mull that one over and take that to its absolute extreme limit. And see where you go with that.
And I'm not saying, question the idea that your spirituality or however you want to define it. But okay, if the look at what we're discovering. Who are some of the recognized leaders of religion in our world? And look at what's coming out of them. If these religions were so righteous, why are they hiding away so much in their basements and their vaults? That they just have decided that we're not ready to know that stuff yet. I mean,
and over and above that, think about what is the one thing that we know about God. What is the one thing we know? God doesn't change. God doesn't change, but yet these religious leaders are changing their, they're changing constantly.
Well, they have declared themselves.
Look at the things he's done. He's changed the Lord's Prayer, for crying out loud.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
And why would you even do that? Why would there ever, if for those who believe that the Bible is absolute and absolutely accurate and absolutely true, why would anybody who is supposedly God's emissary on earth change what we know to be true about the Bible? Why would they do that?
A lot of this just doesn't add up.
Nope. It's going
and it's reasonable to ask the question. All right. Let's continue on here.
Absolutely. Didn't mean to get off on a tangent there.
No, that's all right. That's all right. No, these are questions that need to be asked, and people need to be, thinking about those things, and gathering information and discerning it for themselves. All right, here we go.
I follow that. That's what I thought it was, but it's something else. So I put my hands flat on it and pull myself up. It has an ectoskeleton structure. Its skeleton's on the outside. On the inside is a very smooth surface. And I used to, at that time, I was lucky. I got to play with dolphins. And so when I went to feel the surface of the thing, it feels like a dolphin skin. And it feels soft.
Sorry.
Okay, so he's describing the surface in between the structure of the exoskeleton. All right, here we go.
Organic, but it's hard as steel. And I'm going, how can it be both at the same time? And wherever my hand is laying flat on it, that's something you got to see. There's an energy band that comes out and dissipates down the hull and finally fades. But it's wherever your flesh is touching it, it's reacting to you. And I go, wow, that's really cool. I'm like, how did it? And finally, Rudolph told me, go on up.
All right. So he just keeps checking this thing out. Here you go.
So I crawled up the skeleton structure, got up on top, and what looks like a big spinal column with vertebrates, I'm stepping over it, and I look in the vertebrates, and there's all these tubes running through the ectoskeleton structure, and you can see a liquid moving through the tubes, and the liquid looks like methylate in the sun. Y'all remember methylate in mercurochrome? A lot of these young people going, what is he talking about?
You got to be a baby boomer to know that stuff.
Yep, and I knew methylate burned like crazy, and mercurochrome didn't.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
What I'm talking about is when you saw your mom coming with that, you're going to go, God, this is going to be good. They put it on cuts, burned like fire, but never got infected though, did you? Killed everything, nuked the whole area. So anyway, that's what this fluid looked like, and it's iridescent, and it's like glowing. I'm going, and it's moving. I went, and it's cold in that room, like air conditioning. You put your hands all.
Okay, yeah, fascinating stuff. All right, here we go.
The same, and it's warm, same temperature as us. And I'm looking around, there's no power cords. None. How is it staying warm? How is this fluid moving? And there's no power. And I'm going, this thing got an internal power source. And I thought, when I built mine, I didn't have a secondary power source like that. So anyway, I'm walking up to the front because, how to describe this thing? I've been trying to get concept artists to work with me, and it's proven to be difficult.
I wonder why. Maybe they just don't know how to think outside the box. Or throw the box away. Okay, here we go.
It's like I'm describing to a police artist what the assailant looked like. And the best way I can describe it for you, think of two octopuses having sex. You have two big round bulbs type look with all the tentacles twisted around. That is where the cyclotrons are firing. The tentacles are the plasma ducts, and it's in a figure 8 pattern. And that's what makes this thing work.
Well, can you imagine two octopuses having sex?
Oh, that's meme material there, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah.
All right, you meme makers, get out there and get with it.
Yeah, Joe Biden and and Billy Boy. You know,
okay. That reminds me of that old joke, you know, about the you know how Indians, you know, Native Americans, but they call them Indians. How Indians got their names, you know, where the you know, the mother would give birth, and then the father would step out of the teepee, and the first thing he saw was the name he gave to the baby.
okay.
Do you remember that joke?
No, I don't.
Well, it's, I'll have to tell it to you later because it's pretty rank.
Not okay. Not for this audience. Okay.
Not
right.
on the channel. I'll tell
okay.
you later.
All right, here we go.
That's why they haven't gotten it right yet. So anyway, I'm looking at that, and I get down to the damage area. There's a hole about 4 feet in diameter on the side. Something has come in and hit it, and it hit it in the exact right place. Because figure 8, right where the two balls cross, I call that the eye of the hurricane. That's where the force of the plasmas are going through. You got to remember, there's 100 million degrees temperature running in.
100 million degrees temperature running through this thing.
Million degrees, yeah. That's enough to melt most stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you do with that? And the energy that's necessary to create it and then deal with it. Here we go.
This thing at this place, and that's 100 million degrees centigrade. It's even hotter in Fahrenheit. So anyhow, I'm looking at it and I went, wow. And I could look down in the damaged hole, and where the blast area was, it didn't blow from the inside out. It blew from the outside in. So something hit it. And this is metal, right?
So, you know, and he says this thing is really, really strong. All right. So something of sufficient force enough to create a hole in this thing. Right. Here we go.
So it should be very sharp and jagged. You know what it looks like? It looks like a well that's been shot with a harpoon, which has a grenade on the end of it and blows a hole in the well. That's how they kill them, with harpoon guns. And if you ever look at a hole of a well that's been blown by a charge, that's exactly what this hole looked like. And I'm going, am I standing on a dead well? I mean, is this thing organic or inorganic?
That's the question. Inorganic or organic? Here we go.
Is it a machine or something else? And I'm a little confused. So anyway, I slide down to the damaged area and I grab hold of the blown out chunks so you could hang on to it. It was really hard, but the blast made it look like it was like flesh. I can't describe it any clearer. So anyway, I go down into the dark part and it's glowing down there. So I asked Rudolph, can I look inside? Air Force people, no. Yeah, go ahead. So,
yeah, sure. Stick your head in there. How many of you would stick your head inside something like this?
I would.
Cautiously, yes, I probably would.
I would, yes.
All right, here we go.
Going down in there, and man, let me tell you. What I saw where that damage area is, you got to think about something. I'll eventually figure this mechanism out here. There we go, I got it. I'm a rocket scientist. Of course I can figure this out. So I get down in there and...
All right. I love him. I love this guy. He's a rocket scientist. He can figure out a mic stand. All right. If any of you actually ever dealt with a mic stand, they can be a pain in the ass. Here we go.
The first thing I noticed was what was left of a seat is gone, but you can sit down, your legs would hang over. And I'm going, that is a bipedal anthropoid shape. So that's whoever's working it. This is a maintenance station. That's what it is. It's a diagnostic station, because on the other side, there's one that hasn't been damaged, and this is twins, left and right. One for the front, one for the back. And that's the way I built mine, but not big enough for
a person. But this one had occupants. Interesting.
Somebody sat down in. Mine's only this big. Now I'm able to walk through my engine. You got to be in here to let. That was freaked out. I had stuff so small I'd had to assemble it under a microscope. Now I'm big enough I can walk through it, and I'm going, man, this is just too much. So I'm getting down there, and I sit down what's left of the seat, and the blast that came in was amazing. It came.
Okay. And you got to wonder, okay, what hit this thing? And unfortunately, he really doesn't get into that because he doesn't really know what hit it, but something obviously with enough force and
in the perfect place to disable it.
Right.
So the question isn't necessarily what hit it, but why.
Mm-hmm. And who was behind it? Here we go.
Through the walls and through the diagnostic area, disintegrating everything that it hit. It cut through the seat, and then it hit the bulkhead where the plasma walls are, where the electromagnetic fusion containment fields are. And it stopped. Yeah, when it hit that field, it stopped it. I don't care what the heck they were shooting at it with. That blast got to right there, and it stopped at the wall. But it was enough blast to shut the thing down.
Okay. Now, remember that invention that we were talking about on Monday, that field generator that could deflect asteroids and stuff, Deadcat?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're talking about, a field generator that he's talking about that contains all of this stuff. If you had something that could deflect the power of a huge
planetoid
coronal solar ejection, or something as simple as a intercontinental ballistic missile, that shield could be put up, and basically you're untouchable.
And if you could create a shield, you can create a focused beam.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go.
And these things can stop in a picosecond. That's a trillionth of a second. So it shuts down, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at, this was the other cool part. I could look through what looked like an observation port, and I can look up the plasma ducts. On mine, I can't do that. It's so small. And I looked up in there, and I could go for hours describing. They had these crystal-looking things hanging in there, and I think they directed the plasma vents.
So he's starting to describe this stuff that makes this thing work and how they engineered it. Fascinating.
How it was grown.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remembered all this stuff because I'm going to build this again. I'm going to cheat this time. I'm going to steal these designs. So I was looking at it, working with it, and then there was another thing happened. While I was sitting there, this panel slides back, and these two pods come up. They're two domes, and they got these cutouts. And if you take your hands and do like...
Okay, see what he's doing with his fingers there? Three-fingered aliens with a thumb. Interesting. This gets fun. Check it out.
That, they fit perfect. So I put my hands in there. My mother told me, don't touch things, you don't know where they've been. I wish I'd listened, because when I put my hands on these pods, these little shells came up going click, 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 like Batman's Batmobile. Remember, it shielded itself? They ran up all the way to all my knuckles, and they're tightening down. I didn't have any rings on at the time. And I'm going to yell for help because I think it's going to cut all 10 of my fingers off. So I started to go, and then this real cool voice.
All right. I see firefighters, worn out and going to head to bed there. Well, thanks for joining us here tonight, firefighter. By the way, we are recording the program tonight, so it'll be posted tomorrow as early as I can get it done, and you'll be able to finish out watching the rest of the show. So have a good evening, rest well, firefighter, and we'll see you the next time we see you. God bless, man.
Yeah, good night, brother. I love you, brother.
All right, here we go.
Like Lauren Bacall from Key West, and all it says is, "Be quiet." Okay. And I said, "Lighten the grip," and it did, but it didn't let go. And I'm going, "Oh God!" And so I'm sitting there, "Hello," and it's a female voice, and she says, "Be still. This is going to be a little uncomfortable." And I went, "Oh God."
Yeah, you get your finger stuck into an alien machine, and it's talking to you, and it says it's going to be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey, I don't like that when a doctor says that, especially if he's got a rubber glove on and he's behind you.
Yeah. Interesting here, huh?
Yeah.
What doctors say, means it's going to hurt like hell. I'm trying to get the hands out and I can't. And then it starts as a vibration, and then you can feel the heat coming up both arms. Feels like liquid fire burning. And then it gets up to here, and brother, the light show starts. I bet my eyes were lit like a projector lens because there was this heads up viewer type thing I could see, and just billions of images are going.
He's getting a download, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you're a Stargate SG-1 fan and you've watched all of the shows, there are a couple of times when they ran across technology that was similar to this. Not necessarily, entrapping the fingers or, but you guys know, if you've been watching that show, you kind of know what I'm talking about. And it downloads into your head all kinds of information. So you assume that that's kind of what's happening here. All right, here we go.
Through, and it is burning in my brain, and it hurts. And so I'm sitting there going, God, I hope this is going to end quick. And then finally said, just a little bit more. And I went, yeah, okay, it's done. And the rings back off, and the panel goes dark, and everything that's in the area goes dark. And I stand up, and I went, I'm leaving now. So.
Thank you for the ride.
Yeah. You can let me go, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah. Time to go.
Oh man. Here we go.
I get up, I crawl back out. Rudolph asked me what was going on. I felt like I was in there for about a half hour. They said I'd only been in there about 4 minutes. And something else is going on. So I crawl up on top, and I'm walking down to the other end. And then that's when all of a sudden I'm starting to say things. And I looked down at him, I said, so you guys want me to help you?
Okay, so he's starting to get an idea.
Starting to figure out what their plan is.
Yeah. All right. This is more and more fun.
Fix your machine. Yeah. Because yours look just like ours. This one's bigger. Our people working on it. Well, where are you people? Well, they're on vacation, son, like you. And I went, oh, yeah, this is my summer of junior high school. And I'm standing there going, okay, well, did they leave any notes? Well, they have homework like you do, son. You understand?
Listen to the double speak that they give him on all this stuff, right?
Yeah, they haven't quite yet gotten to the point where they're telling him, sorry, we don't know what we're doing, and you're it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
This is how they talked to you back then. You know, a lot of teenagers today just wouldn't believe it, but it's very condescending. And so I said, okay, so they took their homework with them. And then finally I said, look at the construction of this thing. We didn't build this. It's not ours, and it's not theirs, meaning the Soviets. It ain't from the neighborhood, is it, y'all? Now they're getting really upset, and they said, you need to calm down. I said, you need to tell the truth.
Something they have a very difficult time doing, obviously.
Even to the guy that they want to fix the thing that they brought it to.
Yeah.
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 We don't want to tell you what it is. We just want to know, can you fix it?
Yeah. Talk about, in service to self, right?
Yeah.
We don't really give a shit about you. Just fix our engine.
That's it. And we're going to, arc inside you when you're done anyway. So.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
When you're no longer useful.
I said, where is this? How old is it? Did you dig it up or did you shoot it down? Is there a crew? Did you pickle them? That'd be great. Some race lands down here with packing all kinds of bad guns and stuff and pissed off, and you pickled their crew members, and I don't have anything to do with it, and I get vaporized. And they told me, get off the engine. So I come down off the engine, and I...
You get them all pissed off, and I'm down here, and I'm getting in, I'm going to be in line of fire thanks to you guys. And I don't even know what this is all about. Really appreciate it. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Democrats.
I'm so furious because my world just crumbled in front of me. I went to sleep listening to Anita Bryant. I had an American flag for a blanket. And all of this is destroyed. And I'm sitting there going, this sucks. So I come down, I'm so angry. And everywhere I'm touching the hull, it's not the blue-white, rays or...
See, a bit of awakening happening with David there in this situation.
Starting to realize what they want from him.
Well, not only what they want from him, but what they're willing to do to get it. And that he's in a base that's within the confines of this country, and he's dealing with military individuals,
and a guy he's already identified as about as Nazi as you can get.
Yeah, a crazy Nazi collaborator.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Came in on the Operation Paperclip boat.
All right. Here we go.
Energy coming off. It is fiery orange red. Looks like methylate on fire. And I'm touching the hull and I'm going, man, what is that? And as I calm down, it calms down and goes back to blue-white. And I went, oh, God, that's not heat-seeking recognition alloy. This thing is feeling me. It's reading my feelings. That means it's a sentient. This thing is alive.
It's alive!
With a great big hole in it.
Yeah. As in Dr. Frankenstein.
Yikes.
It's alive! It lives! Okay, here we go.
Or it was. And I do remember hearing this. Was time to go. We're not going to work with Black Hearts no more. And I'm going, what does that mean? And so I get down and talk to the Air Force, and it's bad news. Nobody wants to talk to me. Everybody's pissed off. So they throw me on this back of this golf cart thing. I'm facing out back. They're driving forward. And then that's where I found out why I'm there.
This is kind of freaky when he talks about this part. All right, here we go.
there's some other reason they're not telling me why I'm there, and this is it. They're whispering to each other. What happens when people whisper? You're driving forward, the wind's blowing that way. What does sound do? It travels on the air. Their whispers are right here. And I'm listening, and they're going, if we don't get him to tell us how to get this engine repaired and running, we're not going to get first strike.
First strike. What does that tell you? Well, if you haven't figured it out, listen.
Yep. Remember this.
I'm going, first, are they playing baseball? What do you mean first strike? This is 1971. Never heard of it. And then I realized, oh, God, they're talking about, then they said MAD. And I went, oh, my God, it's MAD, Mutual Assured Destruction. It's what we live under today. It's, you're a Soviet Union, I'm America. You fire at me, I fire at you, and you can be assured we're both going to die.
So, you know, they're all thinking, you know, let's kill them before they kill us.
Yeah.
And that's sweet.
Right.
They got amazing technology here. Technology that can change our entire world, and all they can think about is, you know, how are we going to weaponize this?
Yeah. Wiping out the other guy.
Yeah, wiping out the other guy, wiping out our enemies. Why are they enemies? Well, because you're acting the way you are, probably. Here we go.
And so we won't shoot. The only way to play mad and win is not to play. Unless you get there first. How are you going to get there first? Your warheads are so fast. What did Pittsland just do? Set the fastest records on Earth. And now the Air Force has it laying up on the desert floor, and we're riding up there, and I just realized I've got to figure out a way to blow up my rocket engine on a top secret military Air Force base that does not exist.
Yeah, it kind of spells it all out there, right in that one, you know, phrase: top secret military base that does not exist.
Yep. Cannot let them have that technology.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
So I thought, no pressure. So we get up on top, I get out, and I'm looking around. And so I lean over to the hangar doors, and the big wheels in the hub is what I need. I grab a gob of graphite grease. Then I start screaming at Rudolph, saying, you're going to take my rocket, I won't get to see it, let me see it. Take him out there to see the rocket. Yeah, that's where I want to go.
Okay. So he's got a plan, and let's see what happens.
And it has to do with a handful of graphite grease.
Yeah.
So we go out there, I'm with these two guards, and we get out there, and I tell them, stay back, it might be leaking. I open the dissimilar metal locks, and I put the graphite grease in the cyclotrons, and with the residual fuel that I had in there, ask any physicist what happens when graphite meets deuterium on a molecular level. It's a violent reaction.
Okay. This is kind of funny in a way too. You know, unfortunately, he did have to, do this, but this is, thinking on his feet. There we go.
Explosion. So I close it up, set the cyclotron for 90 seconds, and I go running back and tell them, this thing's leaking, it's going to blow up. So the guards, get on cart, so we take off. And that thing's moving along pretty good. Can it go any faster? And they said, well, what's a safe distance? And I didn't think about that till then. I thought, oh, God, if it goes nuclear, what's the safe distance? Chicago? Man.
Yeah. You have 5 minutes to reach minimum safe distance.
Mm-hmm.
No, in this case, 90 seconds.
Yep. Here we go.
The golf cart was barely hitting the floor, just streaking through.
Oh my God.
And I was hanging on, and I really was. I thought, boy, if it goes nuclear, it ain't going to matter. Fortunately, it stayed conventional, but it blew Pittsland into so many pieces. The biggest piece they found was about the size of my thumb. So now Pittsland is gone. And I skipped some other things. I got one phone call to my dad before we left. And what?
Okay. um, yeah, he still has to deal with this Rudolph character. Okay. And
Yeah.
Rudolph is a pretty smart guy. All right.
Or actually not remained a Nazi.
Yeah.
Back, I told my dad, if I ever call you and I tell you light your pipe, I want you to take the lab and burn everything there is. Burn all the papers, burn all the drawings, burn the models, burn everything. So right before I left with Rudolph, I asked to see my dad and say, I want you to talk to him, but don't tell him where you're going. They had a 17-year-old cadaver. They were going to burn it, change the dental records on it, and send it to my parents and tell them I was burned to death at White Sands, New Mexico.
Yep.
Do you think they? Yeah, I mean, is when you hear what we have discovered over the past 17 months, and the other things that a lot of you have discovered, and I've discovered before that, do you think that they wouldn't have done exactly what he's describing here in a heartbeat?
Second, the fact that he's able to make that phone call is amazing.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
So I'm going to be there forever. So we're standing there, pistol blows up. We pull up. Rudolph asks what happened. He said it was leaking. Rudolph's smart. He's looking at me. He grabs my palm, looks at the hangar door, looks back and goes, very smart. And then he hits me so hard, my lower teeth go through my lip. And I'm laying on the ground. I'm bleeding. And I hear all these guns cocking. I'm going, man, it's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rudolph, the Nazi. Yeah. Here we go.
It's getting worse. And I look up, and all the gun barrels are pointed at Rudolph. These are Air Force personnel. Their daddies just fought Rudolph in World War II. It ain't over. And you just hit a Midwest Ohio kid and tore his lip up. And I looked up at Rudolph and said, maybe you're not so much in charge. And
okay, so I love this story. I love, it's amazing.
It was tense there for a minute. I was the one to say, shoot him. And the guys in black suits came out, and then it was a standoff. So black suit guys took me to a room, threw me in a room, and locked the door. No windows, just a single bulb hanging off of a wire. And there I sat for hours. And Rudolph told me, we're going to send the cadaver back to your parents. You're going to be here for the rest of your life.
Isn't that sweet to know? All right, here we go.
And that's when I started crying. Because I thought, man, life is over with. Nobody's going to know I'm here. And I thought, I'm just not going to give them anything. So I'm trying to figure out how to electrocute myself with that wire. I can't get to it. So after about 8 or 9 hours in this containment thing, I hear the biggest ruckus you ever heard. And door opens up, and there's a big square figure with a stogie. And
the guy with the stogie.
Yep. Curtis LeMay.
Curtis LeMay. All right, here we go.
Got this colonel by his tie. It's the base commander. This is Curtis LeMay. He flew in. If you didn't know this, who put the commander of base in charge of Area 51? The chief of the Joint Chiefs. He did. He knows the guy. He put him there. So he's in civilian clothes. It don't matter. He's throwing this guy around like a puppet. And he saw me bleeding, and he looked at the colonel, and he started in on the colonel. And I went, it wasn't him. It was Rudolph. And he asked, where's Rudolph? And the colonel said, he just left before you got here.
Interesting. So this LeMay, in spite of everything, seems to, first off, he likes this kid at the time. And 17 years old. And so here we go.
Find him, clean him up, and put him on the plane. And so he flew me back, and we went back to Wright-Patterson. Then they drove me back to my home. And that's how I spent my summer vacation my junior year in high school. Now, there's...
What did you do for your summer vacation? Oh man, it's amazing, isn't it? Okay, just a little bit left here, so we'll get through it here.
One other thing, things were quiet in the fall, in the winter, spring. I'm graduating. I'm in high school line, cap and gown, shaking hands. Yeah, I'm going to Ohio State. Yes, I have a full scholarship. Astrophysics, how about that? And then I grabbed this hand, it's ice cold, and I turn, and it's two guys in black suits and mirror sunglasses. They hand me a paper, I unfold it, and it says, "Greetings, I'm drafted." It's June 10th, 1972. Drafted and shut down to 1974.
Welcome to the military.
Yeah, now we own you.
Okay, here we go.
They grab me in my cap and gown, drag me across the parking lot, throw me in this blue station wagon. They drive off, my parents are screaming, and all they heard was legal conscription. I can be legally taken. Now, in that DVD we have, they interview my high school classmates who say, "I remember that. My God, that's what happened. He disappeared. He was gone."
They just grabbed him up. Hard to find words to describe that, you know.
So that's what happened. Anyway, we get to the Port Columbus, Ohio, and I get on a jet. There's another confrontational, skip that part. I just told Colonel Williams and all his armament to back off, let the CIA go, and I ended up in Langley, Virginia, home of the CIA. And I'm on a table, they strap me down, door flies open, and in walks Rudolph and friends.
Oh boy. Fun begins some more. Here we go.
And it starts. And that's the first time I felt the needle on the top of the hand, and it was way more fire than the download of whatever it was. And that was my first taste of sodium barbital and sodium pentothal. And I was under for 4 days, and I remember somewhere in between waking up, and they said, you're only supposed to put a person under no more than 30 minutes. I was under for 4 days.
Yeah.
All the MK Ultra they could come up with at that time.
Yeah.
Rudolph is trying to get things out of me, and he's not getting it. And then finally I remember saying, "If you give me more, Rudolph, he's going to die. Or an eggplant." And he says, "I don't care." So finally came to, and then there was a big ruckus in the hallway again. I didn't see who it was, but I bet you it was probably LeMay. And anyway, they came back to me and said, "We're going to send you to Vietnam. You know, you won't live probably a day."
Yeah, this is the game that they played for years and years, and this is what people had to deal with. And you know, when you have people that are this incredibly ruthless, and dealing with the technology that they were dealing with,
remember what they were going to use it for.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, not even just the technology of the engine. I'm talking about, you know, the MK Ultra technology that they were developing, and they have continued to develop ever since. Yep. Is very disturbing, to say the least.
Bigger than you can imagine.
And you know, you just start tying all this stuff together, and it will set you back on your heels. Here we go.
NW. And I said, "Fine." So I'm not building any more rockets. So they came back, a few more rockets the whole way, came back and said, "How do you feel about jets?" "Well, they can be defensive. I can work on them." So fine, you're going to the United States Navy. 11 years later, I am in the United States Navy. I've started off as a jet engine technician. And it's another take 2 hours to tell you what some of the stuff happened. ended up an O&I.
Okay, so now he's over in the Navy. And everything that we've been led to believe is the Navy is light years ahead of what the Air Force is working on. And they've got this guy working with him. So, here we go.
Naval intelligence officer, and you think this was the crazy story? You should hear that one and what they wanted me to do, and I'm under oath on that one. But I could tell you everything up till now because I was 17 years old. You can't sign a minor to a national security oath. It's against the Constitution. So that's how I can tell you this.
So you're wondering, how could he get away with telling the story and not have anybody legally bind him up? That's why. Here we go.
And all I can say is you got a pretty good dose of the story, and the story's still going because there's a whole lot of things that's not through. And what I've been doing for the last 25 years, I can tell you this. There's a second Pithlum now. So the world and y'all, you will get to see it. Wow. But it's gonna rock this world.
It's gonna rock this world. All right. It's just about finished here. We'll wrap it up here in the next couple of, I'm not sure just how long, but we're almost done.
Oh, buddy. And I cheated. I used a lot of designs I saw from somewhere else. So, but it'd take me days to tell you all what's in that horn of plenty. But my time's up, and I want to thank you for listening. Bye.
Okay. So, let's get a little chat going there with you guys out there in live chat. First off, what do you guys think? What kind of credibility do you give to David here? Do you think he's telling the story, telling the truth here?
I hope you're not asking me.
I don't have an issue with believing him.
I find nothing about his delivery, nothing about the way that he portrays himself, nothing about anything he said had even the slightest glimmer of deception to it.
Yeah. No, I
guess the most generous thing you can say would be that he believes it to be true, but I believe he's telling the truth. I believe he told it just the way it happened. Not, he didn't make that up, and he isn't telling a story that happened to somebody else. He's telling it as it happened to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there's just so much going on, and you think about it. We are now watching all of this fighting and political maneuvering and everything between the Democrats and the Republicans and the these folks that are aligned with the deep state, the media that is aligned with the deep state, and they are how do you kind of frame this? What if the deep state, they don't want you to know this stuff. They don't want any of this information out there. There's several things that are going to happen from this. One, it's going to enlighten the population. Secondly, it's going to free the population up from a lot of the things that they use to control the population. They use it to control your daily life. If you understood the full ramifications of what our spirituality and our connection between each other, our consciousness, and what God actually intended for our pathway to be, and all of these things. And these people, they understand a lot of this, and they want to be in control. They have absolutely no desire to be in service to anyone but their own selves. And that's, again, it's something I have said numerous times. A society that's made up of individuals who are completely in service to themselves. How do they build a coalition? How do they build something that keeps everybody else in check, even if they're all supposedly working, for the same outcome?
Well, they don't.
Only through
fear, force,
coercion, all of those things, all of those things that they are applying upon us, but they are applying it on each other as well.
Yep, absolute tyranny.
Okay, so these people are living under absolute tyranny, but they are also, if you're living under this tyranny, why would you be willing to put everything on the line if it meant that once they take you out, you are permanently done? You know what I mean? At the end of this life, there's nothing more. Right? However, if there was something more, and you had absolute knowledge of it, then would you put such a value on this life? Okay. Such as it is. Do these people know that, oh, well, I for the cause, I'll blow myself up and take 150, 200 people with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you absolutely do that,
glorifying the mass suicide, glorifying death rather than life.
So when you go to look at like the teachings of Muhammad, Islam is like that as well. I'm not picking on Islam. I'm just saying that in their belief system, you get 32 virgins, and you'll be 72 virgins. Excuse me. Well, I'm on the budget plan. No.
Yeah. Let's not even go into that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. There's that's a bad story. I mean, if you think of 72 virgins, really, is that eternal punishment?
Yeah. So anyway, it really is, when you think about these people. So they're protecting this technology, but this technology also opens the door to so many other things, and it cuts that tyrannical overseer position that these people have on people, because then you start to understand and start to become enlightened to excuse it, the true meaning of life. All right. But I mean, how else can you really say it?
Like with the words that we have available to us, with the when we were reading that egregore, one of the things we kept running into is the idea behind it is to throw away the box. Don't even build the box. Don't conceive of the box having ever existed. And we kept running into the difficulty in describing this stuff using the words we have available to us, using the communication technology that we have available to us. It automatically constructs boxes because it makes a concept. In order to present the concept to someone else so that they can perceive of it, even in a minimal fashion, you've created a box around that concept to hand over to them in the form of words. And then hopefully that their discernment will break the box apart and bring it out to the fore, bring it to a level of understanding. What are you playing with there?
No, I'm just adjusting some things around on the desk here.
Well, stop fidgeting.
You're telling me to stop fidget, right?
Well, I wanted to answer a question out there that was presented, and it's a good question. The question was, why didn't they just kill him? Or why don't they just kill him if he's actually revealing this information to us? Why don't they just kill him? Well, I have kind of an answer for that. If you guys will bear with me momentarily, I'll bring it up. Let's see if I can locate that. Oh, here it is, right here. This is what they're going to do to him, what they are doing to him. Now, this here, let me get this on the share. And I'm not going to attempt to play this. I'm just going to skim through it and let you see some of this longest interview ever done by Art Bell. You remember Art Bell used to be
he was the original host of Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM, which was an overnight show that went on for,
still is going on.
Still is going on, but Art Bell passed away. But
George
nonetheless, this is the longest interview he ever did, and he did it simply because he was having such a good time with David Adair that they just continued talking, and they talked for 5 hours, 12 minutes, and 17 seconds. This is their entire interview. This is what you get from YouTube. This is why they didn't have to kill David Adair. Okay, see here? See, this is playing.
Turn up the volume.
Volume's all the way. Oh, excuse me.
No, it's not.
There it is. Volume is now all the way up. You hear the interview? Well, let's skip ahead a little bit. That's 23 minutes into it. Oh, wait. Let's skip ahead some more. This is 55 minutes into it. Oh, let's try an hour and 23 minutes. Okay, let's jump ahead. Hour and 57 minutes. 2 hours, 36 minutes. 3 hours, 23 minutes. 3 hours, 59 minutes.
Getting the idea.
Kind of getting the plan. 5 hours and 12 minutes later, all you see is this space scene. No sound, no interview. This was a 5 hour and 12-minute interview with Art Bell, and they have scrubbed it from the internet. They are not even bothering with character assassination. They're taking this guy off the map. You cannot look him up on Wikipedia. You would think a guy who was a true rocket scientist at the age of 15, 16, 17, you'd think that he would actually have a Wikipedia entry. Nope. You can't find him. You can't find an obituary, although they tried to make it look like he died. You can't find what we see is actually what we get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, I have a short piece here. I'm not sure if this is the same piece that you played earlier. It's 1 minute and 44 seconds.
No, the one I had was 3 minutes.
Okay, this is 1 minute and 44 seconds. Shy Panther sent this over to me just a little bit ago. And it's a video. It's David Adair. And I haven't seen this, so let's see what David says in 1 minute and 44 seconds.
Let's have some fun.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, hang on. Let me get my stopwatch ready so I don't get us into trouble here. All right.
Disclosure Project contacted me. A lady named Sherry Adamak called me and wanted me to come and testify as to what I saw at Area 51. And I didn't want to. I really had been off the grid. I just didn't want to deal with that because that is an area I'm really not involved in. People think, I saw an alien engine, I built a fusion rocket, which actually is not a fusion rocket. It's a power plant.
Okay. So he's talking about the Disclosure Project here, and they're asking him to get involved. Breaking info. Do you see breaking info coming in? Lori Armstrong. I'm not sure what the breaking info is. All right. Let me go ahead and start the video here again.
I just happened to be a rocket. I just happened to see an alien engine, and that thing could have been dug up. So I'm not in the UFO community. I really don't even care about them, be truthful. If they land here, fine. We all get to meet them. But I'm not going to spend my life running around looking up the sky. Oh, look at that. No, I'm a little bit busy with other things. That's why
Stop it. Breaking info is red alert. North Korea just launched missiles. Not a drill.
Oh, wow. Launched missiles where?
Yeah. Let's
can you find some
yeah, anybody got a link for that?
Anybody got any links? Let's
anybody out there live chat. Let's see some links here.
You won't find.
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see where we're going to find some information here.
Try Twitter.
Okay, let's see what we got for tweets here. JT. There's the crowd there. Let's go to White. What do we got?
Breaking 911. Let me see what I can find there.
Yeah. Married couple in California arrested on suspicion of possessing 2,000 images of child pornography. Police officer body slams woman during traffic stop as her horrified mother films. Okay, nothing in there yet. Where? Let's see. Who was it?
Where's this coming from?
Lori. Where are you getting your information there? If you can give us a link to that, we'll go take a look at it.
Boston Smalley saying that is a troll BS news from a few days ago. Scanning Twitter. I'm looking at Twitter also. I'm not finding anything new. I'm finding most recent breaking news is 5 hours ago.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to this video until we get a link to something here. Let's just continue with what we're doing here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's not.
We do that. We do have to go with that if it's actual news. But yeah, they fired rockets a few days ago, and it was nothing. They shot them out into the ocean. So we'll go with that until we have better information.
All right.
So, sorry about that, brother. I didn't.
Well, we need to verify this stuff before we get too up in arms about it. All right.
Right.
All right. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to roll this back a few seconds here because we missed part of what he was saying here. All right, here we go.
Oh, look at that. No, I'm a little bit busy with other things. But that's why you won't find me anymore at UFO Communities. But she kept calling, and I was declining. And then she said something that really got my attention. She said, oh, well, we have about 120 hardware contact people coming out of Area 51. This is going to be a closed-door meeting, and if you don't come, you're going to miss out on all of that.
What's hardware contact people?
Well, that's people.
Okay. Interesting here, huh? All right, here we go.
People who have seen and touched actually alien hardware. And she said they had people, dozens of people coming out Area 51. And I was there. I knew there was a lot of people worked there. And I thought, oh, gosh, I really wouldn't want to miss that party.
Okay, and then they're saying follow this story on Facebook, www.facebook.com, America's Fall from Space. Okay, and I just we read an article here the other day, DC, or I have an article, and that's the title of that article.
Yes, as a matter of fact. I'll be darned. They might have found the Art Bell video.
Oh, somebody else.
Yeah. Scrubbed off of one site, but somebody must have grabbed it and reposted it. This one's 4 hours, 46 minutes long. So it's probably real close. If it's not the same one, it's probably there are some references out there on YouTube to actual. Here's RT, Mirror News, RT. Hold on just a second. North Korea fires unidentified projectile. South Korean military, it says. South Korean military joint chiefs of staff have claimed that their neighbor to the north fired an unidentified projectile less than a week after its latest high-profile weapons test. Unidentified projectile was reportedly fired at approximately 16:30 local time from the country's northwest region. This is just a few hours ago, 7:30 an hour or so ago, 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time. We're 8 hours behind that, right?
Something like, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
The country's east coast into the Sea of Japan. East.
Yeah, it'd be into the Sea of Japan. Yeah. That's a little bit concerning. Normally, they don't into the
out into the ocean. Yeah.
Well, normally what they would do is they would shoot into the area north of Japan and these out here. and not necessarily into the Sea of Japan, because it's just the Sea of Japan is very small. It's that area between Japan and the Asian continental, the continent over there, which also includes you have Russian city of Vladivostok and all that. So, all right. Let's see. I'm right now. I'm looking for an article. The noise you just heard was that video downloading onto my computer.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, it says here, ministry spokesman, recent drill conducted by our Army is nothing more than part of the regular military training, has neither targeted anyone nor led to an aggravation of the situation in the region.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like another, basically shooting off fireworks.
Yeah. We do missile tests all the time. I mean, we're constantly, Edwards Air Force Base shoots into the South Pacific Missile Test Range down by the Marshall Islands. Happens all the time. The people in California know every time they do it. Big rockets leave, jump up and hit the sky. All right. Have you got any articles or anything that you've got there, DC?
Well, I did have one fairly interesting one. You guys, hold on just a minute here. Let me see if I can re-up this thing here. This is one. You guys can just figure this out yourself. Take it with a grain of salt. Before we go to this, first, let me do this. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna have to bring this up, and I sent this. I sent this over to several people. Just a second here. I've got to go back and get it because I didn't get the first part. Oh, here it is. Here's the first part. Okay. Let me open the link up. Okay. Here's what we're told about Stonehenge. You know where I'm going with this, right, Thumper?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we're told about Stonehenge.
I'm going to fill my coffee cup while you do this. I'll be right back.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. There's a little video that goes with this. You guys are going to find it extremely interesting. But let's get a little history on Stonehenge to start with. This is from Wikipedia. Now, we know from Q and from the stuff that we've studied here that Wikipedia is an invention of the deep state, as is the Guardian newspaper in England, as is the Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, the actual platform we operate on. These are and were originally invented as controlling mechanisms for us and dissemination of information for us. And Wikipedia, as every other, they give you what we know to be true historically, but then they give it a little twist, and they've also made it open source so that they can change the narrative as they will along the way and just kind of rewrite history for us as they go. We're aware of this. We're aware of Facebook doing the same thing. We're aware of Twitter and, YouTube, etc. We just saw an example of YouTube scrubbing the video, and I hope that second video that was just referenced, I hope that's the one. I'm downloading that actually now as we speak onto an archive, and it will be archived offline so that it won't disappear again. At least that, if that's the same interview, it won't disappear again, at least as far as I'm concerned. But this is Stonehenge by way of Wikipedia. So take it with a grain of salt, because Wikipedia gives you some truth with the lie that tears it all apart, which is, kind of satanic. But Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument. Let me get it up here a little bit bigger, easier to read, so that you guys kind of get an idea of where we're going with this. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England, 2 miles west of Amesbury. 2 miles, 3 kilometers west of Amesbury. Consists of a ring of standing stones, with each standing stone around 13 feet, 4 meters high, 7 feet, 2.1 meters wide, and weighing around 25 tons. Stones are set within earthworks in the middle of the most dense complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England, including several hundred burial mounds. Archaeologists believe it was constructed from 3000 BC to 2000 BC. Now we're now at 2100 AD, which puts us about 5,000 to 4,000 years ago that they say that this thing was built. Surrounding circular earth bank and ditch, which constitute the earliest phase of the monument, have been dated to about 3100 BC, which is 5,200 years ago, effectively. Radiocarbon dating suggests that the first blue stones were raised between 2400 and 2200 BC. Okay, you guys getting an idea? I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I'm going to show you a little video here after this in a moment. But you're getting the idea. We're looking at anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, basically, is when Stonehenge was built, right? This is everything we've been led to believe about Stonehenge. And it's got early history here. I'll get this out to you in link form after this whole thing, because this is going to you're going to find this interesting. All right. Now, you see what I have here? This is a video. And I'm going to do this in chunks because this is 2 minutes, 26 seconds long. But if this doesn't make your head scratch, I don't know what will. Let's make sure we're at the beginning there. Let me bring it up on full screen. You ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're floating in space.
Right, lads. Haven't done a video in a while since the world ended on the 10th of December 21st, but this is interesting. Stonehenge, England. Salisbury Plain, built by Stone Age man, 2700 BC. Or was it? This is a site, pre-construction, 1954. Here's a set of pictures.
1954. You see that? They're putting the footings in 1954.
Showing the site getting built. The photos apparently come from Russia, from one of the KGB archives or something, but it's pretty interesting, and lots of interesting photos. I'll put a link to the address. Look, there they are, putting the capstones on, digging the trenches for putting the other ones in. A lot of work, a lot of people involved too. You'll see all the construction people, all the kids and all sorts of stuff.
You see there? Now, I'm not telling you this is accurate. They found this in the KGB files, Russian KGB files that were released after the fall of the Soviet Union.
Who's alive and what's going on? Guys inspecting the stone before they put them into the ground. Now, I never heard any mention of Stonehenge in a Doomsday Book or anything like that. In fact, all I know about Stonehenge was that apparently, according to the Irish legend, it was stolen from Uisneach, which is the centre of Ireland, and it was taken to England by Merlin the wizard, so that's all I know about it. But these photos look pretty authentic.
These photos look pretty authentic.
And it'd be a hell of a job to stage manage them. a lot of working on, so I don't know what the crack is anyway. See what you think. I'll put a link to the blog spot where they are, and anybody recognises anybody in the photos could verify whether they're true or not.
What do you think?
Pretty incredible.
Yeah. Do you think that they rewrote history?
Well, you and I have been talking about this for a few days when you first, pulled this up, and I'm like,
Right.
huh?
No, yeah. Oh, has anybody heard anything about this?
Built in 1854. Never heard it mentioned by Shakespeare or any of them other ones, really. Like, does Chaucer mention it in the Canterbury Tales? You know what I mean?
Shakespeare never wrote about
You don't hear much really about Salisbury Plain or battles being fought around it or anything like that. And you'd think at a plain they would have battles because that's where the Irish have their battles, in the plain of the Boyne. Like,
Yep. The Salisbury Plain, many battles took place there, and not one of the battle descriptions ever described Stonehenge. Never described that 3, 4, 5,000 year old set of stones up there as artifacts. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, very.
a load of crazy photos of Stonehenge. Check out the story. He must be alive somewhere. Who is he? He'd be 60 or 70 now. Right. Thank you very much and good luck. One love. People get ready.
Thank you. Thank you very much and good luck. Yeah. So, food for thought, folks. You guys can, figure this one out, or just pass it off as fanciful. Somebody in Russia decided to throw this thing together and make everybody think that Stonehenge was faked and all this. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Investigate it. I would say, at the very least, if that is indeed accurate and the actual construction of Stonehenge in 1954, how much other history that we're told happened thousands of years ago is BS.
Well, you take a look at the video that we played on the pyramids, and what we've been told the pyramids are all about, as compared to what real scientific discovery and analyzing the construction techniques, the materials that were used, and that the pyramids were not tombs; they were power generation stations using very. I wouldn't go as far as to say sophisticated technology. I would go to say it was more of a very it's a non-destructive use of actual energy that can be harvested without damage to the environment.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Minimal damage to the environment. You obviously have to mine the materials and things that would have to be used to create the pyramids. But other than that, the actual generation, which is something that goes on for years and years and years, centuries, this technology would have provided, more than appropriate amounts of energy for a civilization to use to live, develop, and thrive. Very, very, interesting when you think of it that way.
And Sally out there says, you Yanks will believe anything. I'm not saying believe it or don't believe it. I'm saying, what if? What if?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How much of what we know, and how old are you, Ann Selly? Were you at that site before 1954? And did you see the stones before 1954? Let's, let's find somebody who actually went there before 1954, and let's verify it.
Mm-hmm.
One way or another. Let's find out. All I'm saying is, the truth is there. The truth doesn't change. It doesn't, it's immutable,
All right. Well, I have this article here. It's Extraterrestrials Among Us, Michael E. Sala, PhD. And we had Michael Sala on the program here. And I'd like to go ahead and bring that up. We've got about a little less than a half hour left of the program here, of the show. Excuse me. Don't start it. I said program. My apologies. I fixed it.
I'm with you. I wasn't going to say anything.
Thank you. Anyway, here's the article. And again, like I said, this comes from Michael E. Sala, PhD. And you ready to do some reading there, DC?
Absolutely. We're gonna tag team it.
Yeah, let's tag team this, because this is a little bit long, so we don't have a lot of time to dive too deep into this. But I think we might be able to get through it in the next 34, 35 minutes or whatever we got.
I think it's
25 minutes. Excuse me. Yeah.
Well, let's go for it.
All right. Introduction. There is startling evidence from a number of independent sources that human-looking extraterrestrial visitors have integrated with and lived in major population centers up until recently. And this is known by a select number of government agencies and military departments. A range of highly classified government documents and military programs give credence to this phenomenon, as revealed by a number of whistleblowers. Command Sergeant Major Robert Dean, for example, claims that a top-secret NATO document he witnessed in 1964 described how senior political and military leaders have been visited by and interacted with human-looking extraterrestrials who could easily blend into human society. What really concerned NATO leaders, according to Dean, was that extraterrestrials could be walking in the corridors of key political and military institutions. Aside from whistleblower testimonies, a number of private individuals claim to have encountered extraterrestrials posing as ordinary citizens in major cities around the planet. George Adamski was the first to write about extraterrestrials secretly living among the human population. In his second nonfiction book describing his extraterrestrial contact experiences inside the flying saucers, Adamski discussed how human-looking extraterrestrials had established a presence among the human population. They apparently looked so much like us that they could get jobs, lived in neighborhoods, drove cars, and could blend in easily with the human population. Adamski wrote about how they contacted him to set up meetings that led to his famous flights aboard extraterrestrial vehicles. While controversy over Adamski's contact experiences and his credibility continues, Adamski's UFO sightings and contacts with extraterrestrials were supported by an impressive collection of witnesses, photographs, and films that a number of independent investigators concluded were not hoaxes. Over to you, DC.
Okay, Adamski's testimony offers important insights into how extraterrestrials may be living incognito among the human population. After discussing the Adamski case and the strongest evidence supporting it, I will then discuss other contactees similarly claiming to have encountered extraterrestrials acting like ordinary citizens. Finally, I examine the number of whistleblowers who claim to have witnessed documents or events confirming official government knowledge that extraterrestrials live among ordinary citizens. Contact testimonies of extraterrestrials among us. Adamski's famous desert center meeting with an extraterrestrial emerging from a, quote, scout ship, unquote, on November 20, 1952, was seen by 6 witnesses who signed affidavits confirming Adamski's version of events in his subsequent book, The Flying Saucers Have Landed, 1953. In fact, 4 of the witnesses immediately reported what had happened to a nearby newspaper, the Phoenix Gazette, that published a story on November 24 featuring photos and sketches. The Desert Center encounter was among those of Adamski's claims regarding extraterrestrial contact that, according to UFO researcher Timothy Good, were, quote, accurately reported, unquote, and, quote, sensible and verifiable, unquote. Given the clear supporting evidence supporting Adamski's first meeting with an extraterrestrial traveling in a scout craft, it is worth examining closely his alleged subsequent meetings with extraterrestrials living on Earth. Over to you.
In the first chapter of the Inside the Flying Saucers, Adamski recounts his meeting with two extraterrestrials while he was sitting in the lobby of a Los Angeles hotel February 18th of 1953. I looked at my wristwatch and saw that it had said 10:30. The lateness of the hour, with still nothing of extraordinary significance having taken place, sent a wave of disappointment through me. And just at this moment of depression, two men approached, one of whom addressed me by name. Both were complete strangers, but there was no hesitancy in their manner as they came forward, and nothing in their appearance to indicate that they were other than average young businessmen. I noted that both men were well proportioned. One was slightly over 6 feet and looked to be in his early 30s. His complexion was ruddy, his eyes dark brown, with the kind of sparkle that suggests great enjoyment of life. His gaze was extraordinarily penetrating. His black hair waved and was cut according to our style. He wore a dark brown business suit, but no hat. The shorter man looked younger, and I judged his height to be about 5 feet 9 inches. He had a round, boyish face, fair complexion, and eyes of grayish blue. His hair, also wavy and worn in our style, was sandy in color. He was dressed in a gray suit and was also hatless. He smiled as he addressed me by name. As I acknowledged the greeting, the speaker extended his hand. When it touched mine, a great joy filled me. The signal was the same as had been given by the man I had met on the desert on that memorable November 20th, 1952. Significant in Adamski's description is how the two extraterrestrials could pass off as businessmen. Aside from a penetrating stare, nothing struck him as unusual in their appearance. Adamski goes on to explain how he went with them to their car to travel to a remote desert location. Together we left the lobby, I walking between them. About a block north of the hotel, they turned into a parking lot where they had a car waiting. They had not spoken during this short time. Yet inwardly, I knew that these men were true friends. I felt no urge to ask where they proposed to take me, nor did it seem odd that they had volunteered no information. An attendant brought the car around, and the younger man slid into the driver's seat, motioning me to get in beside him. Our other companion also sat with us on the front seat. The car was a four-door black Pontiac sedan. They know good cars, okay? The man who had taken the wheel seemed to know exactly where he was going and drove skillfully. I am not familiar with all the new highways leading out of Los Angeles, so I had no idea in which direction we were headed. We rode in silence, and I remained entirely content to wait for my companions to identify themselves and explain the reason for our meeting. Go ahead.
All right. What's significant here is that the two extraterrestrials possessed a car and knew how to navigate on the newly completed Los Angeles highway system. This is no mean feat and suggests that the extraterrestrials had taken the time to learn the road traffic rules and how to navigate through Los Angeles. The next passage is quite remarkable for the information Adamski reveals. Lights and dwellings thinned as we left the outskirts of the city. The taller man spoke for the first time as he said, "You have been very patient. We know how much you're wondering who we are and where we are taking you." I acknowledged that, of course, I had been wondering, but added that I was entirely content to wait for this information until they chose to give it to me. The speaker smiled and indicated the driver. "He is from the planet you call Mars. I am from the one you call Saturn." His voice was soft and pleasant, and his English perfect. I had noticed that the younger man also spoke softly, although his voice was pitched higher. I found myself wondering how and where they had learned to speak our language so well. What's interesting here is Adamski's observation that the two extraterrestrials could speak the English language so well without any hint of an accent. What follows in the next passage is truly remarkable insofar as it reveals the true extent to which extraterrestrials have merged with the ordinary human population. As the thought passed through my mind, it was immediately recognized. The Martian now spoke for the first time since our meeting in the hotel. We are what you on Earth might call contact men, quote unquote. We live and work here because, as you know, it is necessary on Earth to earn money with which to buy clothing, food, and the many things that people must have. We have lived on your planet now for several years. At first, we did have a slight accent, but that has been overcome. And as you can see, we are unrecognized as other than Earthmen. At our work and in our leisure time, we mingle with people here on Earth, never betraying the secret that we are inhabitants of other worlds. That would be dangerous, as you well know. We understand you people better than most of you know yourselves and can plainly see the reasons for many of the unhappy conditions that surround you. You go ahead from here.
This passage is most significant since it describes how the extraterrestrials have spent years living on Earth, learning the language, getting jobs, and mixing with the human population. Furthermore, it appears as though extraterrestrials living among the human population may work in pairs, a kind of buddy system that would make sense in terms of ensuring safety and communications with the home world if an emergency ever occurred. If Adamski is accurate in his recollections and the extraterrestrials are telling the truth, then it would appear that there could be a significant number of extraterrestrials who are living incognito among the normal population in many, if not most, major cities on the planet. Upon examining other contactee cases and testimonies of whistleblowers, it does appear as though this is indeed the case. Adamski was not the only one of the contactees claiming that extraterrestrials were blending in with the human population. Howard Menger also claimed to have been contacted by extraterrestrials, posing as ordinary human citizens while he was training to be a spokesperson for the Space Brothers. In one case, the extraterrestrial was posing as a real estate salesperson and asked Menger to accompany him in one of the extraterrestrials' car, where he was taken to a new contact location to meet at appointed times with the Space Brothers ships. Menger describes the incident as follows. In the fall of 1947, a young man, neatly dressed in fall clothing, entered the shop. Though he said he was a real estate man, there was something odd about him, and he didn't act like other extroverted, backslapping real estate men I knew. He told me he was thinking of putting up some for sale, quote, signs near a place called Pleasant Grove, about 8 miles from the shop, and would like some advice. I agreed to go with him. He did not introduce me to a young lady waiting. He did not introduce me to a young lady waiting in the car. Halfway there, the conversation fell off and there was silence. Very abruptly, the man changed the subject. End quote. Howard, we know you are keeping your contacts with our brothers a secret as you have been instructed. Close quote. I didn't know if I should feign surprise or not, since I had detected something unusual from the beginning. Oh, you are, in quotes. And I chuckled. He simply came out with a wide grin and drove a few hundred yards without speaking further. You see, Howard, I have been taught much of real estate, but little of acting. Menger's extraterrestrial friends went on to describe a secret location where he would later rendezvous with the extraterrestrial vehicles at appointed times. Menger's contact experiences and UFO sightings are supported by independent witnesses, photographs, film, and even scientific analysis of a potato allegedly grown on the moon. Timothy Good conducted a thorough investigation of Menger and concluded that some of his extraterrestrial contact experiences and photographs/films were genuine. It is the manner by which Menger was contacted in 1947 that alerts us to the presence of extraterrestrials blending in with the human population. The extraterrestrial had learned about the real estate trade, was driving an ordinary car, and was accompanied by a female. Both extraterrestrials had assumed the identities of real estate agents and could, in that way, evade detection while learning much about human society. Again, as in the case of Adamski's two extraterrestrials, they worked as a pair, suggesting a buddy system. Over to you, DC.
Okay. At one of Howard Menger's conventions, quote unquote, at his home in April 1957, 3 visitors from Venus were allegedly photographed. Several of the photos were given to Dr. Frank Stranges, who showed the photos at his UFO lectures. At one of these lectures in December 1959, Dr. Stranges claims that he was approached by a Pentagon official who offered him the chance to meet with one of the Venusians. Dr. Stranges then described elaborate security procedures he had to undergo at his subsequent meeting with Valiant Thor at the Pentagon for 30 minutes. Thor was apparently a guest of the U.S. government for 3 years and regularly met with senior officials, including President Eisenhower and Vice President Nixon. Dr. Stranges claims he was told never to reveal what had happened. Nevertheless, he eventually wrote a book about his encounter, Stranger at the Pentagon, 1967. In his book and subsequent interviews, he describes the messages of world peace and spirituality delivered to him and senior U.S. officials by Thor. Predictably, Stranges' claims were greeted with widespread ridicule from UFO researchers given the lack of evidence that such a meeting had occurred. Yet Dr. Stranges' background in law enforcement, his educational credentials, and his prominence as an evangelical theologian all point to an individual with impeccable integrity who would not fabricate such a hoax. If Dr. Stranges' credentials and integrity are accepted, then it appears that the Pentagon housed a visitor from Venus for 3 years who allegedly was able to meet with senior officials and was able to travel to UFO conventions such as the Mengers. It may be concluded that Valiant Thor and his associates was able to interact with a range of private citizens during his 3-year stay. These interactions were closely monitored by intelligence agencies, and individuals were sworn to secrecy. Another contactee, who claimed to have met with extraterrestrials posing as an ordinary civilian, involves the case of a tenured professor in the medical school at the University of Mexico, who was also a senior member of the Mexican Atomic Energy Commission. The professor used the pseudonym of Professor Hernandez, quote unquote, and worked with a Mexican journalist, Zitha Rodriguez, to release his amazing story. He discussed how a very attractive extraterrestrial female, Aliens, dubbed Leah by the professor from the constellation Andromeda, posed as a student and visited him in his lecture classroom on several occasions from 1972 to 1974. After realizing that she wasn't one of his students, he eventually confronted her and asked why she was coming to his lectures. After having several conversations where she displayed remarkable knowledge of physics as well as paranormal abilities, Hernandez was eventually told by Leah that she was from another world. After further meetings in 1975, she eventually persuaded him to join her as a co-pilot in her space vehicle. This is how Hernandez described the incident on 22 April 1975 in his diary. Would you like to carry on from here?
Sure. I had gone to participate in a conference on the theme of effective neutralizers for anesthesia. That afternoon, I felt particularly exhausted. As I headed for the parking lot, I scarcely imagined that Leah was waiting for me in the car. "Hello," she said in greeting. "Are you in much of a hurry?" Close quote. "No, it's only that I want to rest," close quote, I said. "Would you like to go on a mission as a co-pilot?" Close quote. End quote. "Today has been an especially tiring day. Couldn't this be another day?" Close quote. I asked, almost pleading. The guy gets a chance to go on I'm sorry, can I get a rain check on that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
We postpone this.
Hello. I'd have to be really damn tired to pass up on that one.
Are you out of your friggin' mind? Let's go.
It is important. I cannot assure you that you will have another opportunity like this, close quote. End quote. Oh, very well, I said as I locked the door.
Oh, okay.
If it is not too far, I accept. Not too far. Okay, what are we talking about here? At this point, Hernandez drove his car to a remote location directed by Laya. And then he then goes on to describe how they proceeded to enter Laya's space vehicle and left the Earth's atmosphere. A round object of more or less 3 meters diameter was some meters in front of us. Laya took out an apparatus of metal that was like a small box of cigarettes and pressed a button. At that moment, the door of that ship opened itself from below, and we went through into the interior by means of a small ladder. She touched a small lever with various buttons and pressed one. The ship silently rose into the air. The Earth withdrew more and more, and thus I could contemplate the night, the stars, and alter dozens of satellites of all types orbiting the Earth. Hernandez's story was investigated by Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Stevens, who corresponded with Zetha Rodriguez. Stevens found many similarities with other contactee cases, even though Hernandez could not have known of these. He decided to translate Rodriguez's book of Hernandez's experiences and eventually concluded that the Hernandez was credible. As in the Adamski and Menger cases, Hernandez reveals that his extraterrestrial contact could easily blend into the Mexican population. In contrast to Adamski and Menger cases, Laya was alone and did not appear to have a buddy. While she did not own a car, she knew how to navigate Mexico City's road system to ensure that Hernandez could reach the destination of her flying vehicle. Her ability to meet with Hernandez in city locations and knowledge of how to travel to rural areas again suggests familiarity with the location and customs of the native population. It is not only contactees that have discussed extraterrestrials living among us. There are also testimonies of highly credible whistleblowers who make similar claims. Whistleblower testimonies of extraterrestrials living among us. Contactee claims that extraterrestrials were living among us received a significant boost by the whistleblower testimony of Command Sergeant Robert Dean. Dean worked at NATO's Supreme Headquarters from 1963 through 1967, and during this time was stationed in the Operations Center with a cosmic top secret clearance. He claims to have viewed a secret NATO study that was commissioned to analyze the threat posed by UFOs to NATO operations in Eastern Europe. The classified report was titled, in quote, An Assessment of Evaluation of a Possible Military Threat to Allied Forces in Europe, close quote. It focused on the dangers of UFOs being mistakenly identified as incoming ballistic missile attack from the Soviet Union. Dean claimed that the NATO study identified 4 different extraterrestrial civilizations visiting the Earth. He said that what really worried the NATO top brass was that some of the visitors looked so much like us they were virtually indistinguishable. Dean says that NATO generals were paranoid over the possibility that some of the extraterrestrial visitors could be walking in the corridors of NATO or the Pentagon, or even the White House itself, in an interview, he said. I'm going to do one more paragraph here, and then we're just about finished here anyway. There was a human group that looked so much like us that they really drove the admirals and the generals crazy because they determined that these people, and they had seen them repeatedly, they had contact with them. These people looked so much like us, they could sit next to you on a plane or in a restaurant, and you'd never know the difference. And being military and being primarily paranoid, that bothered the generals and the admirals a little bit. The fact that these intelligent entities could be involved with us, walking down the corridors of SHAPE, walking down the corridors of the Pentagon, my God, it even dawned on a couple of them that these guys could even be in the White House. Of course, as I said, being paranoid in those years, it really shook things up a little bit. Well, we're going to have to kind of leave it there because we only have 3 minutes left until we turn over the live stream to Percival and LearnShare and whoever else they have with them tonight. So I'm going to drop the share here. And what do you think about what we read there, real quick there, DC?
Yeah. I'm thinking that, these claims of various planets around our solar system are kind of more out of convenience than anything else, because, to think outside the solar system at that time might have been a bit much for people. Mars, they could imagine. Even the moons of Saturn, they could imagine. But when you're talking interstellar, a little bit of lead up might be in order.
Mhm.
So I think it was convenience more than anything else.
Mhm.
So here we are, 2 minutes before the end of the show. I have had a kick-ass time with this show.
It's been a fun show tonight, and provided the recording goes okay, I did have it recording tonight, so I will get it rendered and get it posted out there on the on Smoke Clear's YouTube channel there. So those of you that have subscribed, thank you very much. You will get notification when it is posted up there. So if you want to go back and look at it, and those of you that fell asleep and missed part of it, well, if you're watching it later on, hello. thanks for trying to make it through. I realize it's late in the night. So anyway, DC, if you want to say goodnight, I'll say goodnight, and we'll get ready to turn it over to the other guys.
Will do. And remember, there's speculation involved in this show. So I will say, I love every one of you guys, every one of you people, not guys, every one of you folks, patriots. God bless you. God bless you, brother, for being here as my show partner. This is so much fun. This is very cool. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. God bless all of you. God bless President Trump. God bless Q. Maybe we'll get a Q post. Haven't looked recently. God bless the United States of America, and God bless Earth. Hoorah.
Absolutely.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, DC. Yeah, we'll be talking here in a few minutes. And I just want to say thank you, Live Chat, for joining us again for another really fun episode of Hyperdrive. And we'll see everybody on the next installment of Hyperdrive this coming Monday evening, starting at 11 o'clock, going to 2 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Adjust for your time zone, please. Again, we'll see you in a couple of hours again for Straight Shooting, coming up at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 6 to 8 on the Pacific Coast. And again, adjust for your time zone for that as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. God bless you all. Have a wonderful rest of the evening.
And this is Percival here, and you are now listening to the Rise and Shiners, where we give a shine to your rise and a rise to your shine. I'm on my own, other than Gray and On, my intrepid mod, who's out there taking care of YouTube chat and keep me informed what you guys are thinking about, talking about. And just going to go into the... Oh, I got to drop share and augment for video here first. And okay, back to the share. Go to the top of the hour. Let you know what network you're listening to and all our rules and regulations. Expand the screen for you, and away we go.
Morning, afternoon, evening around the world, Patriots.
It's top of the hour.
You're listening to We the People, Patriot Soapbox, 24/7 live stream.
Q-Storm coverage, 24 hours a day on YouTube.
We are researching topics of Q Intel information, the storm, and related news. You can find Q Intel at qanon.pub.
Below the YouTube video, you will find links to more sites of interest.
Please join our Patriot Soapbox forum, where you can interact, research, and share links of interest to the Patriot movement to make America